Hello, everyone, and thank you for registering for our webinar. Mike and I are product managers in Pushwoosh, and we're very happy to see you all here today. Since recently we've got a lot of requests on how to use in-app messages effectively, and today we decided to make a webinar to talk about it in details. So the agenda for the webinar is in-app messages in general, their main benefits, advantages, use cases, types, formats, and best practices across industries and mobile users' lifecycle. So after the short presentation and after showing what advantages of using in-app messages you may have, we'll show you how to create one-time in-app message or the sequence of in-app messages, so-called in-app carousels in Pushwoosh, and benefit from it. So now I guess we should start. Yes. So what is in-app messages? For those who've never worked with in-app messages before, in-app messages is a type of mobile messaging where the notification is displayed right within the app. So unlike push notifications, emails, or chatbots that you use in WhatsApp or Facebook, for example, the interaction with in-app messages happens right in the app. So it means that there is less intrusion in your user's private life, and you get their more concentrated attention. And it's great, I guess, for the efficiency. So there are 6 main types or formats of in-app messages that we have for now. It's the sticky in-app message, as you see on the picture. The in-app message in this case occupies the header or the footer of the screen. They usually have a background image, text, several CTA buttons. Everyone decide by themselves. And most popular use cases for sticky in-app messages is asking, for example, the users to opt in newsletters and notifications, the so-called opt-in prompts. There is also a half interstitial. It looks like a pop-up that covers the center of the screen, and they are typically used when you want to give the user a message or some kind of service message, for example, or to guide them through the app, for example, in onboarding case. It's also interstitial. This pop-up covers most of the screen, and this format is typically used to offer a discount to users, usually in e-commerce or subscription-based apps, or, for example, to show users how they progress in their app's adoption. It's also the full screen cover format. It means that an app message covers the entire screen, and this type of format typically used to give action-based notifications, for example, ask users to opt into newsletters, like in Ticket App message case, or show some kind of in-app gamified discount offer. Usually happens in the case of e-commerce app. And it's also inline in-app message. The main difference between inline in-app message and other formats is that inline in-app message is located right within the app content. So these messages are organic parts of users' experience, and they allow you not to interrupt them with your messages, and it's more natural for them to respond to them. So now we're also exploring the new format that probably we're going to develop in Pushwoosh. It's stories. This is basically a dynamic in-app feature that helps you to build some kind of social stories with the help of just basic in-app message or with the help of inline in-app message, as you wish. It actually works pretty simple. You just need to insert the links of several images that you have and define the segment, the event by which these in-app messages will be triggered, and just go live with them. Now let's talk about the benefits of in-app messages. Basically, there are 6 main benefits of in-app messages. First of all, it's the ability to reach all your active audience. This means that you didn't have to ask your users for permission to send them in-app messages, like in the case of push notifications or emails. They also provide a seamless experience. So as I said before, they are shown directly within your application, so the users don't get disturbed. It pretty easily adapts to your branding. In Pushwoosh, for example, you may change the color, the whole design concept, the text, the buttons. So with just 2 clicks, you just go change text and click save, And here it goes. You may show it to your users. It's also the ability for fast interaction with the users. In-app messages are perfect for all kinds of surveys, all kinds of NPSs. All your users have to do is just type the answer or click on the right button, click on the right amount of stars, for example, in the case of rating your app, and it takes them less time, and there is more chances that they will respond to your request. And there is also no dependency on other messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook. It means that you have, you can be sure that your messages will be delivered on the first hand, and on the second hand, you don't have to adapt to their policies. Yes, it's more convenient. There are 6 main use cases where you can use in-app messages in your app. The first one is onboarding. So basically what it means that you create some kind of in-app carousel, the sequence of in-app messages triggered by a specific action. Typically it's the app open event. So when users opens the app, he sees your sequence. You may show the value of your product there. You may guide them through your app and increase the probability that users will stay with you longer. It's also promotional highlights. Here you can promote your own content, your partners' content. Media apps really likes to do it and show and say that it has really great results, or promote special offers. It can be holiday promotional offers or some special offers for specific segments of your users, as you wish. It's also feature announcements and promotion. For example, you have a new feature in your application and you want more users to adapt it. Or, for example, you don't know if you need to show your new feature to all your users, and you may test your hypothesis of this feature with the help of in-app messages and show them not to all your users, but to a specific segment. It's also customer service and transactional updates. For example, some kind of updates that users' banking cards are going to be delivered in some time in the future, or for example, that there is not enough money on user's account. It really depends on the case of your application. It's also the upsell and cross-sell use case. This use case is pretty typical to e-commerce applications. And the use case for subscription-based apps, is when you try to upgrade your users to the next plan. For example, if you have some kind of trial period in your application, or if you want your basic plan users upgrade to your pro plan users, you may use in-app messages to motivate them to upgrade their account with the help of some messages that show the value of this plan, or creating the fear of missing out of something that is only included in the pro plan. So it all depends on your tactics. Yes, here we have the examples for each case. By the way, we'll share the presentation with you after the webinar, so you'll be able to see all this information and spend the time you need to digest everything. So yes, here we have the best practices across industries and mobile users' life cycles based on industries. So here today we gather 6 main industries. The first 3 ones are media, entertainment, subscription-based apps, and finance. So in the second column, you see the specific cases where you can use in-app messages, and on the third column, the right one, you may see the triggers. It's basically the events that will trigger your in-app messages, and in this case, increase the probability that users will be delighted with the message you send them, and increase the probability that users will respond to the message you send in your in-app messages. So, for example, media and entertainment apps are really fond of in-app messages. The effectiveness of in-app messages when they use them to promote news posts, the news streams, their new content, as I said before, their partners' content. Media and entertainment apps also have this case when they can ask their users to subscribe to a particular news topic, or some content topics. Media and entertainment apps usually have separate sections, for example, politics, economics, culture, or some kind of news show, popular movies, or I don't know, comedy, horror films. And if you want your users to get the content they really want and increase their engagement rates, you may ask them what they want to see and then provide them with the content they are interested in. It can be done with this specific topic-based widget. We have it as a default widget in Pushwoosh, so you may easily find it in your rich media and in-app message section in your account. As to subscription-based apps, in-app messages are great if you use them to onboard your users. As I said before, when you show the sequence of in-app messages or create in-app carousel with the benefits and value proposition. If you want to get reviews, it's not available to do it for Apple users, for iPhone users, but still you can do it with Android users. Ask them to rate your application in the store. You can also try to upgrade your customers' plans with in-app messages and promote new features. As to finance, there's specific cases is that you may educate your users about your new financial products or promote your partner's product and educate them about them with the help of in-app messages. The great tactics is to use in-app messages as inline in-app message when you create it as a part of your application. Just make it native. We see that it has good results and show great efficiencies in financial apps. Users are click on these inline in-app messages more often and respond to these in-app messages more often than in the case of just simple in-app messages when they are shown on the whole screen. And here we have e-commerce. In the e-commerce cases, the great use case is when you want to promote your special offers to your users. You may do it to all your users or just to specific segments. If you want to upsell and cross-sell them, the case that is very popular for all e-commerce apps is the reduction of the amount of abandoned cart cases. For example, your users left some product in their cart but didn't purchase it. So you just show like in 2 seconds or 3 seconds, if the user is still in the app, the in-app message that they forgot to purchase the product or entice them to purchase it. Or, for example, if the user does not respond to this in-app message, show them some kind of replacement product that will be probably more interesting for them. And it's also the gaming apps. As you see, there is 5 main use cases when our users use in-app messages. The users who have gaming mobile apps, they encourage the activity in the game just with some very encouraging in-app messages shown to their active users, and they entice them to go to the next level. They also enrich onboarding experience in their applications, announce new opportunities, announce new competitions, announce the ability to earn more rewards, provide special offer, and convert them to paying ones. It can be anything, just with the help of some paywall or with the help of offering some paid products that will help users to become more advanced in the game. So I guess this is all for now from our side, and we should move to the more practical part. Mike, I guess now it's your turn.
Yeah, thanks, Irina. Can you please share with me the presenter's rights so I'll be able to share my screen and show how our clients can start using in-app messaging with Pushwoosh.
Yes, now you have the rights.
Yeah, now I have the rights, and I will share my screen, and I'll show you, like, from the start how you can prepare your content with us, find the triggers and in-app messages in one time way or in a sequence like a journey way. So I will start from the very beginning, the way how you can work with the content inside Pushwoosh. So basically, we provide you with an ability to work with rich media content that you can prepare right in the user interface of our platform. Basically, you can find it in the content section of your app in Pushwoosh. So we already have like several predefined rich media templates that you can use. So you don't need to ask your designers or anyone else to prepare something for you. You can always create a new rich media that you'll be able to use in-app model using only our interface and the content that you have on your own hands without having to ask anyone to help you. So we have like several templates that will help you to build this content. They are look like this. You can always ask us for help and ask any questions you have about how you can adapt your content to your mobile app. But you can simply edit existing ones. So for example, I have like this mighty upsell template that I will be using in my next cases. So let me show you how I can work like with the content and how I can modify it right inside my control panel. So I will open the editor where I have like the screen where I can change like the whole content, the text, the colors, the picture, the logic behind any buttons that we have here. So I can basically modify all of the content that you can just see on my screen. And for each language that you have in your app, there could be unique content with a unique picture, with a unique text, and so on. So you don't need to like create several rich medias for several languages. You can use only one. As you can see, for example, I have like Russian and English languages here. And for each language, I have unique content with unique colors, maybe unique buttons and so on. So without having to do anything, I can just change it here. Of course, if you have like your own designers, or you would like to have like a more robust or specific rich media in our platform, you can always just simply upload it into our platform and we'll be able to use them without any problem. So you can just simply prepare the content outside Pushwoosh and use it inside of it, sending these beautiful messages to your audience. So I have rich media. What I can do with it? Let me start from a simple thing, how I can send like one-time message with a specific content for a specific audience. I will go to the in-app model in our messaging part. So where I already have like several templates, several like predefined in-apps activated, where I can create a new one. And I will just simply update an existing one to show you how it will work. So for example, let's do this way. So I have this mighty upsell. So I just decided to change completely existing in-app to make sure that you will see the whole process of how I can create or change the existing in-app message in order to adapt to the current situation, your app or like to your current audience. So I selected this mighty upsell in-app rich media content here, and you can see it here. So yep, I now have this creative name, but I need to define my audience that will receive my in-app message. And we can do this based on the user attributes with the filters and user behavior with the events that we track in our platform. Basically, let me start with a segment. So I can either select an existing filter that I already have in my platform, for example, some default ones such as did not open the app or purchase something and so on. Or I can create a filter right away here by selecting the right attribute that I will just filter in order to like track the right audience for this particular message that I have in my app. Once I complete the segmentation part here, I can also add an additional level of segmentation with the behavioral tracking. So I can target users with a specific behavior using this option here. So what I need to do, I can select a specific event that should happen in my app. For For example, in case of my tab cell, the most logical event will be checkout success, meaning that user bought something from me, and I would like to track this event and show this upsell in-app only to those users who bought something. So I will select like perform checkout success exactly 1 time during the last, I don't know, 3 days maybe, meaning that I will show this in-app to those users that bought something from me at least for 1 time during the last 3 days. And when they open the app, they will receive this in-app message. And when I complete the audience setup, I can go to the scheduling parts and just select when I would like to show this in-app to my audience. So with using this trigger thing, you can just use the ones that Irina mentioned or your own custom ones. I can select like the exact trigger that will show the in-app to my user. For example, it could be application open, meaning that when user opens the application, we will show the in-app message to this particular user. Or we can have some events for, I don't know, button clicking or adding a product into the cart or anything, basically. So it's only up to you and only up to the way you plan your triggers in the app. Also, it's always good to know that you can avoid spamming your users by limiting frequency of displaying these in-apps to a particular user. So we have a configuration part for this, where I can just limit number of total impressions, or like limit number of total impressions per day. So this way, it will help you to avoid over-communication with the audience, and this will allow you to increase the loyalty of users because they will know that you will not over-spam them. So when I complete all of the settings, I can just simply activate, well, confirm the content, make sure that everything is in place and everything is all right, and then simply activate this in-app, and my audience will start receiving this particular message and the particular like parts of my product. But what if I would like to like build a more complex journey, like a step of several messages, maybe with some logic behind it, with the segmentation and so on. For this, we have like the in-app model in the customer journey tool. So let me just briefly show you how I can use it. So I can start the sequence with an event or with a segment. Let me start with the event, basically. So I will select my application here. And for example, I will start this sequence with the product ad event, meaning that, for example, I have an e-commerce app. I'm tracking user actions inside like my product catalog. And I would like to start tracking user actions after this user adds something to the cart. So, for example, I will be waiting for a specific event to happen before moving forward. And this like event will be checkout success, the one that I mentioned earlier in a one-time model. So checkout success is like an event that will show me that I received a purchase from my user, and I can try to upsell something to this particular user. And I have like 2 options here. So first of all, there's a negative branch. So when this user did not buy something from me, and I can start like an abandoned cart recovery sequence here using push notifications, for example. If this user bought something from me, I can send this in-app message with an upsell content here. So I will just simply select the my upsell source. We can see it here. And then I can just start like working on whether or not my communication is working, what I can do, what will be my next steps. So for example, after this in-app part, I will use A/B splitting, please. So I'll split my audience into 2 flows, and I'll test, and I will try to find the best approach to target my audience and to communicate with them. So for example, after sending the in-app message, in one case, I will just send a push notification with the same content, like I will try to upsell my user with in-app message and with push notification. And in case of this flow, I will just simply complete the journey and will not do anything. Of course, I can use the very same logic here, so I can track user behavior, I can track segmentation parts, I can do one more splitting for A/B testing and so on. but I need to find out the effectiveness of my communication. So when I have like this flow configured, at least in my mind, I know that I need to track the effectiveness. So I can use the conversion goals functionality to track the exact events that will show me that my journey is working and my communication is showing some results. Knowing that, like with the approach of testing several sequences and different flows, along with tracking commercial goals, it will help me to improve my communication and make it as effective as possible. So we in Pushwoosh always working on new formats and new ways how you can engage your audience into the communication. For example, Irina showed you like the story thing. So currently we're in the middle of testing these formats along with our clients. So if you're interested in taking a part in this testing, feel free to reach Irina for more details via email. Also, if you have any questions or you need any help with the in-app model, feel free to reach us. We will be more than happy to help. I think that's all on my side, Irina.
Yes. So I guess it's time to finish the webinar. We hope that it was useful for you and you've got some useful information from it. If you have any questions, please write us them, and I guess see you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.